Make Calcutta relevant again.
You already know.
Relevant again. Make
Say,
Calcutta relevant
say.
again.
Welcome to another mini episode of Make Calcutta Relevant Again, the podcast. Today we have a very special guest, and we have actually not had a guest like Niloy on the show so far because what he does is something very special, and perhaps he started that entire revolution in our city, which was making ink accessible to all in our city, if I have to put it in a way. Thank you for creating a tattoo culture. Thank you for creating lizard skin tattoos and what is now going to be the biggest tattoo festival in the country, the Kolkata Tattoo Festival. Thank you, Niloy, for coming and joining us on the show.
Thank you so much, Meghdut, for this lovely introduction, rather a kind one. Uh, when we talk about bringing ink to or tattoos to accessible to everyone, uh, we were one of the early tattooers in Kolkata. That time, I guess we had 3 or 4 tattoo artists in our city. So, in a way, yes, we were some of the early people where people could come to and ask for tattoo, which was a taboo at that point of time.
It's funny that tattoo and taboo rhyme with each other. Is
Yes, of
it?
course.
And it has been for the longest time, actually. I mean, more of a longer time in modern history than in ancient history, because I guess উল্কি ব্যাপারটা তো বহু বছর থেকেই ছিল, মানে অনেক আগের
প্রচুর
প্রজন্ম।
হাজার বছর আগেকার কনসেপ্ট পুরোপুরি লাইক প্রত্যেকটা মানে ইন ডিফারেন্ট পার্ট অফ দ্য ওয়ার্ল্ড দে ওয়াজ ইন আ ডিফারেন্ট ফর্ম ট্যাটুইং tattoo is a modern word though, but it existed for more than 7,000 years, like as per
7,000 years.
yes, as per the proof that we found till now.
I had a very interesting interaction on the flight, my last flight I took. So, if you see these tattoos right here, these were done by Niloy. This is not his usual style, but we worked on an idea for tribal tattoos, which brings together the various stories of the tribes of India. And he put this beautifully on my arm. And as far as I knew, these were Indian tribal designs, right? From
Yes.
Bhil, Gond, from the
Yeah.
various, older Indian tribes from Madhya Pradesh, from Bihar and West Bengal and Shautal as well. But I was on the flight and this lady she was crossing me, one of the air hostesses, and she said, "Are these Tunisian signs?" And I was a little bit, or African, I think she said, "Are these African signs on your hands?" And I said, "As far as I know, they're Indian signs." And she said, "Can I take a closer look?" And she looks at it and she's like, "I'm very sure these actually have very similar kind of signs in Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria." And then she told me the whole story about it and actually put it on the internet and showed me some of these designs. And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. We've had very similar kinds of tattoos happening across the world." So when you
Right.
say now that tattoos as an art have existed for more than 7,000 years, of course it makes sense. It was perhaps one of the things that brought communities together in various different parts of the world, and the culture was evolving separately. So my question to you is, how do you think the world of tattooing has changed and the taboo of tattooing has changed, and where do you see this progressing in days to come?
Okay, so coming to the context that the lady pointed out it to be mostly Tunisian or African uh,
Symbology or science,
relevance
yeah.
or something. What I would say that during that time we did not have much options to play around with. It was mostly tribal. It was very simple shapes that we mold and make different shapes out of those straight lines or circles in a different way. So there were a lot of common ground that every culture has connected to. So that's how I think it looks quite similar to the Indian culture as well, the African tribal patterns. Those, if we see from a distance, definitely it looks quite similar. But when we dig in deep to the meanings and all, definitely there are a lot of different meanings to it.
Right.
Like as I know, like there are some symbols on your arm, which is like the thunder. It is also called the chicken paw. It
Yeah.
is like giving
These
you
ones,
power.
these ones,
Yes,
yeah, the
yes.
thunder power, yeah.
Yeah, this is like giving power to you like so back then it was not like you can get a tattoo whatever you wish to, but rather it has to have a meaning, or it has to someone giving you that um, you know relevance of having this sign. Ev- so it has a relevant actually relevance that point of time.
Niloy is also one of those tattoo artists who has probably made Calcutta very proud. He is signed up with some of the biggest names in from tattoo guns to inks. All of them are, you endorse them. Some of these big brands, and also every year he spends a few months in Germany as a tattoo artist in a studio. You've been doing this for a while, if
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not.
it's been more than 10 years that I have to have a session every year in Europe for 3 months minimum.
3 months minimum. So that's a part of our journeys in the summers in Europe. Always cross for that. Although we haven't been able to meet up there
Yes.
yet, but it's a matter of immense pride. Like, a tattoo artist from Calcutta, West Bengal, India, going and being a special artist in a European studio. And I guess perhaps when you started doing that all that while back, you realized that we aren't too bad as tattoo artists, and you and of course
No,
the
of
tribe
course
that
not.
you have built, right?
Yeah, so India is very rich in their culture, tradition, and also the art. If you see Asia, it's is quite progressive to the art, like the direction to different various direction to art, even like the whole world. But if we talk about more experimental stuff, more traditional stuff, I think Asia is quite progressive in that matter. India has been quite rich in their culture and tradition, so we draw up inspiration from a lot of traditional stuff like that. But though I got the opportunity to spend mm, much time in Europe, so I don't know. Like my style is quite inclined to European ways. I don't much explore about the tradition stuff, but definitely I like to experiment with all style and all kind of stuff.
Okay, so coming to Niloy, the tattoo artist, Niloy, the entrepreneur, having now how many stores do we have for Lizard Skin?
We have 5 for now.
5 stores for Lizard Skin. So of course the entrepreneur, and Niloy the festival organizer, because Kolkata Tattoo Festival, the big season is coming up on the 19th to 21st of September
Right.
at Vishwabangla Exhibition Center, and we've actually partnered up with the CCU Festival and KTF together. We're bringing a big show this year, 3 days on, at the same time as the preview puja for Durga Puja. So lots of fun things happening, and you will obviously, tickets are going live soon. So
Yeah.
at this time, if we talk about these 3 personas of yours, which one are you the most fond of and why? But also talk a little bit about each of those personas.
If I talk about, I'm very Bangali, very much Bangali, and the whole idea of this tattoo festival is definitely to unite all the artists together, bring in for a. It's a I take it as a learning thing, because when I started tattooing, I never had a mentor, so I definitely regret that part. But conventions are the places that where I learned most of my um, things regarding tattoos and stuff. So I think it's a great learning stage for all the newcomers or people who are not tattooing for very long. That is one whole idea of doing a tattoo festival. And when I talk about that, আমি প্রচণ্ডভাবে মানে আমি একদম বাঙালি, সো ওই দিক থেকে দেখতে গেলে লাইক দুর্গাপুজো হ্যাজ বিন ওয়ান অফ দ্য ক্লোজেস্ট থিং টু মাই হার্ট। লাইক ছোটোবেলা থেকে হোয়াট এভার আই ওয়ান্ট টু মিস, আই নেভার ওয়ান্ট টু মিস দুর্গা পুজো।
Right.
আমি হয়তো পান্ডালে যাব না, বাইরে ভিড়ের মধ্যে, বাট আই উড লাইক টু স্পেন্ড দ্যাট টাইম উইথ ফ্যামিলি অর ফ্রেন্ডস or to just chill,
But
like
be
that,
in the city.
be in the city, and to that aura is completely different in the city, that vibe is completely different. So the whole idea of bringing the tattoo festival just before the Durga Puja festival is to show to the whole world, because a lot of international artists do travel to festivals
How
and
many international
conventions.
artists are coming to our festival this year?
Till now, we have there are approximately more than 25 international artists who has already
And
registered.
nationally, how many artists are going to be coming?
We are expecting about 150 to 200 artists in together.
Which is also great. I mean, most of the artists who are also in other parts of India, they also haven't seen the Durga Puja as
Right,
the world's largest public art festival. And
right.
for tattoo artists, what better way to bring them to the city of joy than to showcase the time where we are at our most joyful and the city is at its most
Exactly,
artistic.
exactly. We live for art. That's what we have been doing all those years, and showing people that what Calcutta or Kolkata is about. Like the Durga Puja is something that it totally, you know, makes Calcutta so special.
Sure.
All this, it's too much of art. Like
Uh,
you get uh, high with this volume of art, I mean to
Exactly.
say.
It can be also like quite overwhelming the amount of
Yes.
art that we have because a lot of people perhaps don't understand, but we grew up in this city and this city's soul is in some way kind of shared with ours. Like we are as much the city as the city is
Yeah.
artistic. So if the city is more artistic, we become more artistic because
Right.
we've been bred in that city.
Yes.
Um, Going back to the idea of the festival because this is important for what's upcoming. What would be a marker of success for you in terms of the Kolkata Tattoo Festival? How would it be a successful festival for you?
First of all, success to me means when everyone is happy. Like that is very important when we call it successful. Uh, I need to be happy, and everyone who's attending it need to be happy,
Everyone
and
who's
that I
organizing it also needs to be
need
happy, I
to be
think.
happy, and
Yeah.
that's what I call success. It's
Okay.
not about revenue. It's not about just having a big show or who has the bigger balls. It's not about that. It has to be bringing happiness to it has to bring a big smile to everyone's
And I
face.
think this is also the reason why we decided to join hands on this festival this year.
Exactly.
I think we have very similar ideals on what counts as success for us. I think when we did the CCU Fest in 2022, I know there were 4,000 people who attended, and it was 4,000 happy people. There
Exactly.
was a lot
Yeah.
of joy at the end of
Yeah.
it. There were people who learned. There was joy because there was learning. There was joy. There was because of art. There was joy because of music. There was joy because of experience of doing something new.
Right.
So I think if we are able to bring that same kind of joy back, I think it'll only be magnified. One plus one here
Yes.
will not be two; it'll be
Yeah. Two mind is
11.
always better than one.
It's always better than one. So I'm really
And we have
glad.
so many bright minds with us.
Exactly. Every one of our meetings, they just become like these amazing brainstorming sessions. We're
Yeah.
just like riffing off on ideas, and
It doesn't feel like work. It's
which
like having
is,
fun.
I mean, not one day of my life has it ever felt anything felt
Yeah.
like work. Otherwise, we're not doing it right.
Exactly.
I mean, we love
Exactly.
what we do. Even I remember when I was getting, I only have one tattoo from lizard skin. But everyone in my family goes to lizard skin. So my sister's been going there for a longer time. My wife's been going there for a long time. But the time I went and spent some time at the studio, every person who works at your studio also shares the same kind of ideals, the kind of conversations, the kind of music that we were sharing, that we were all
Yeah.
sitting,
Yeah.
and it was a very nice, relaxing evening after a full day of work and two podcast shoots. I'd done two podcast shoots
Yeah.
that day
Yeah.
as well. And I just felt refreshed after at the end of the experience, right? I mean, I was going to travel the next day, and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know why I'm getting new tattoos today. It's not the best day, but I had a great
We
time.
both thought like it's not the best time, but
But
yeah.
that was the only day, and then I was leaving, and you were leaving for your 3 months in Europe, and somehow we made it work.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we're gonna make the festival also work. I'm really
Yes, of course.
excited to be doing this together, and we'll try and bring in thing. We say that the Kolkata festival, the CCU festival, is an anti-nostalgia festival, and the work that you do with tattoos, which can seem like quite recent or a new trend, etc., but it's a 7,000-year-old art. So they are bringing together everything that is traditional and that is can be perceived as modern, but at its very roots is very, very traditional and deeply, deeply rooted in the culture of the world. So I'm excited to see the beautiful story that we cook up together.
Exactly.
And together with this, we hope to make Calcutta a little bit more relevant than it is today.
We definitely gonna do that.
We're going to do that. Thank you, Niloy, for
Thank
joining
you.
us on
Thank
this
you so
mini
much,
episode
Madhu.
of Make Calcutta Relevant Again, the podcast. And we hope to see all of you at CCU Fest X KTF, the Kolkata Tattoo Festival, 19th to 21st of September 2025. Tickets are coming out soon. Lineups for the musicians are coming up soon. And in general, I think it's going to be a ball. We're going to have a great time.
Yeah, everyone's gonna love it.
Yes, I hope so too. Before we finish, any last words for somebody who wants to build a career out of something not so straight up, like something that is alternative? How you did it? You're happy. I mean, I don't know if your parents were super supportive when you were starting off, being a tattoo artist and then being a tattoo entrepreneur, but I'm sure now they are happy.
In that way, I'm very lucky because my parents always supported what I wanted to do, starting from music to. My dad, he's a painter, and he always wanted me to pursue painting. So he was super happy when it was tattooing
A
and all.
different kind of
Definitely.
painting on skin.
Yes, but definitely, when I started with tattooing, I showed them a vision that this is how we can actually prosper. This is not a profession that you need to be worried about. If someone is to the new generation, whatever, if we are starting something new, we need to be just passionate and we need to be true about what we are doing, and everything will just follow. That's it.
100%. 100%. So keep that in mind. And if you need some more bouts of inspiration from a very passionate entrepreneur and artist, come by to the CCU Fest KTF and we'll see you there.
Make Calcutta relevant again.
You already know.
Relevant again. Make
Say,
Calcutta relevant
say.
again.